Welcome back to the Remedify coaching program. We're diving into something I know you've been thinking about a lot lately, investing. Specifically, getting started with investing. And you've been checking out Robinhood, a platform that's really built for beginners.
Exactly.
And that's what we're going to unpack today.
Yes.
We've got some great articles here. We've
Yes.
got an image of what the app looks like on a phone.
Mm-hmm.
So really our goal today is to go through all this material,
Yep.
pull out the key insights, and make sure that by the end of this deep dive, you're feeling really confident and informed as you maybe take your first steps into investing in the financial markets.
Absolutely. And we've got some pretty interesting stuff here. We've got articles talking about how Robinhood is the best stock trading platform for beginners, highlighting it's really easy to use, and of course the big draw, the commission-free trading.
Right.
We also have an image of the Robinhood app
Yeah.
so that we can really visualize just how accessible it is.
I love that. So for you right now, as someone who's trying to learn quickly and efficiently, what jumps out at you from all this material about Robinhood as a good potential starting point?
Well, one of the first things I noticed is that Robinhood's core mission is to democratize finance,
Interesting.
which sounds pretty good on the
Sure.
surface. But what does that actually mean for someone like you who's just getting started?
Right.
Well, think of it this way. In the past, investing could feel like a very exclusive club.
Okay.
It was complicated, and maybe there were a lot of fees that kept people out. What Robinhood is trying to do is really open that up and make investing accessible to everyone, no matter what your background is, no matter how much money you have. They've worked hard to create a really smooth experience that's intuitive, both on their app and their desktop platform, so that anyone can feel confident about getting started with investing.
I see. And one of the big things that the sources mention over and over again is commission-free trading for stocks, ETFs, and options. Now, why is that such a huge deal for someone just starting out?
That's a really great question, and it's fundamental to why Robinhood has become so popular,
Yeah.
especially for beginners. Think about it this way. When you're just starting to dip your toes into the world of investing, you might not have a ton of money to put in right away.
Sure.
So if every time you buy or sell a stock, you have to pay a commission, those fees can eat into your returns pretty significantly,
Yeah.
especially when you're making smaller trades.
Makes sense.
But with commission-free trading, you don't have to worry about that. So more of your money is actually working for you and potentially growing instead of being chipped away by transaction costs.
Right. And it's almost like you're getting more bang for your buck in a way with each dollar you invest because you're not losing a percentage of it right off the bat.
Absolutely.
The sources also mention that Robinhood has experienced really rapid growth since it launched back in 2013. It now has over 23 million users. What does that say about its approach and how well it's resonating with people?
I think that kind of rapid growth is really compelling because it suggests that Robinhood has tapped into a real need in the market. All those millions of people who have flocked to the platform in a relatively short period of time, that says something. It says that their approach to making investing more accessible and affordable is really resonating with a large audience who maybe felt that investing wasn't for them before.
Yeah, I think there's something very powerful about that. When you see that kind of organic growth and you realize that this is something that people are choosing because it's meeting a need that they have.
Exactly.
So the sources consistently highlight the user-friendly interface of Robinhood, and it's even gotten a high rating from NerdWallet for its ease of use. What are some of the specific aspects of the interface that make it so easy for beginners to navigate?
Well, if you look at the image we have of the app, you'll notice right away how clean and simple the design is.
Right.
And they've carried that same philosophy through to their desktop platform as well. So what this means is that whether you're researching a stock, placing a trade, or checking your portfolio, it's really easy to find what you're looking for. It's all laid out in a very intuitive way. So you can manage your investments pretty much whenever and wherever you want to.
Right. And I think that's really key for a beginner. Because if you're already feeling a little bit intimidated by the whole world of investing, you don't want to be faced with a platform that's overly complex or difficult to use.
Exactly. You want it to be straightforward and kind of hold your hand a little bit as you're figuring things out.
Absolutely. Now, in addition to the commission-free trading, another feature that's really geared towards beginners is fractional shares. Can you explain why that's such a game changer? Especially for someone who may not have a lot of money to start investing with.
Fractional shares are fantastic because they basically allow you to buy a portion of a share of stock rather than having to buy the whole thing.
Okay.
So let's say you're interested in investing in a company, but their stock is trading at $500 a share. In the past, you would have needed to have $500 to buy even one share.
Right.
But with fractional shares, you could buy a fraction of that share for much less money.
Interesting.
So you could invest, say, $50 or even $10 and own a small piece of that company.
Got it.
This is a game changer for beginners because it means you can start building a diversified portfolio even if you don't have a lot of money to invest up front. You're not limited by the price of a full share anymore.
Right. So it kind of opens up a lot more possibilities for people who are just starting out.
Exactly. And it allows them to participate in the growth of companies that they believe in, even if they can't afford to buy a whole share.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about actually getting started with Robinhood. What are the basic requirements you need to meet to open an account?
So the sources outline a few key requirements. You'll need to have a valid Social Security number, a legal U.S. resident address, and you have to be a U.S. citizen or resident and meet the age requirement to open an investment account.
Okay.
So pretty standard stuff.
Yeah.
And the sign-up process is super quick.
Yeah.
Usually it takes less than 4 minutes.
Wow.
And the best part is you can start investing with as little as $1.
Really?
And a lot of cases, they offer instant access to up to $1,000 of your deposited funds, so you can start trading almost immediately.
That's amazing. So once your account is set up, what are the different investment options that are available to you through Robinhood?
Well, you've got a pretty decent range of choices. You can trade individual stocks, which is probably what most people think of when they hear the word investing.
Yeah.
You can also buy exchange-traded funds, or ETFs,
Right.
which are basically like baskets of different stocks or bonds that provide instant diversification.
Okay.
And for those who are interested, they also have the ability to trade various cryptocurrencies.
Now, I know that Robinhood also offers options trading, but the sources we have really emphasize that options trading carries a pretty significant level of risk.
Yeah, they definitely do.
And so it may not be the best place for absolute beginners to jump in right away.
Yeah, options are definitely more advanced. You want to make sure you have a really solid understanding of how they work before you start trading them.
Absolutely. Now, I understand that Robinhood also has a premium service called Robinhood Gold.
Yes.
For those who want some extra features and perks, what are some of the benefits that come with that subscription?
So Robinhood Gold gives you access to a few extra bells and whistles for a monthly fee.
Okay.
One of the biggest perks is higher instant deposit limits, which can be really helpful if you're moving larger sums of money into your account.
Right.
Gold members also get access to professional research reports from Morningstar, which is a well-respected investment research firm.
Okay.
And that can provide some valuable insights to help inform your decisions.
Gotcha.
You also get a line of credit for margin trading, although, as always with margin, you want to be very careful because it can amplify both your gains and your losses.
Right.
And finally, some sources mention that you might get a slightly better interest rate on the uninvested cash in your account, and potentially even a higher IRA contribution match for Gold members, which could be a nice little bonus.
Now, one of the most important things for new investors is having access to resources that can help them learn the ropes. What kind of educational tools does Robinhood offer to support beginners on their investing journey?
So it seems like Robinhood has put quite a bit of thought into this, and they have a pretty good selection of educational resources.
Okay.
They offer in-app learning modules and tutorials that cover a wide range of topics, from the very basics of investing, like what a stock is and how the market works, all the way to more advanced concepts and strategies. They also have Robinhood Snacks, which is their daily newsletter and podcast that breaks down financial news into easy-to-digest pieces.
Interesting.
And then right within the app itself, you can find news articles and videos from various financial news sources so you can stay up to date on what's happening in the markets.
Gotcha. And as someone who's brand new to this and starts making their first trades, are there any best practices or important things to keep in mind that the sources highlight?
Definitely a few things to be aware of.
Okay.
One important concept is trade settlement times.
Okay.
So when you sell stocks or options, the money doesn't instantly become available to withdraw. It usually takes a couple of business days for that transaction to fully settle.
Got it.
The sources also touch on some basic options trading strategies, like buying long calls and buying long puts,
Right.
just explaining the potential upside and the maximum potential loss of each. And for anyone who's thinking about using margin, which remember is borrowing money from Robinhood to invest, It's crucial to understand the pattern day trading rules,
Mm.
especially the minimum account balance requirement to avoid getting flagged as a pattern day trader.
Right. So this is all very valuable information for someone who's just starting out. Now, of course, security is a major concern for any investor, especially those who are new to the game.
Absolutely.
What steps does Robinhood take to protect your money and personal information?
Security is paramount for any financial institution, and Robinhood really emphasizes that. So they use two-factor authentication, which is a great way to add an extra layer of security to your account.
Right.
They also use secure data encryption to protect your personal and financial information while it's being transmitted and stored.
Okay.
And they point out that Robinhood Financial LLC and Robinhood Securities LLC are both members of the SIPC,
Right.
which is the Securities Investor Protection Corporation.
Oh.
And that provides insurance for your stocks and ETFs up to $500,000 in case the brokerage firm ever fails.
Okay.
Any uninvested cash you have in your account is usually swept into FDIC-insured banks,
Gotcha.
which provides insurance up to $250,000 per depositor.
Yeah.
And then Robinhood Crypto LLC, which is their cryptocurrency arm, has its own insurance policy to protect against certain cyber threats to your crypto holdings.
All right, so let's take a step back for a moment and just recap everything we've learned in this deep dive into getting started with Robinhood. It's very clear that this platform has been designed with the beginner in mind.
Definitely.
They've focused on ease of use with that user-friendly interface. They've made investing more affordable by eliminating commissions, and they've made it more accessible with features like fractional shares. Plus, they offer a good selection of educational resources to help you build your knowledge and confidence.
Yeah, I think that's one of the really appealing things about Robinhood for someone who's just getting started. It's not just a trading platform.
Right.
It's also an educational platform in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. So, as someone who's exploring this now, what does this all mean for you? It means that getting started with investing might be a lot more approachable than you thought.
For sure.
Robinhood has tried to eliminate a lot of those traditional barriers to entry.
Right.
They've provided a platform where you can learn, experiment, and start growing your understanding of how the financial markets work. And this brings us to a really key question for you to consider. Now that we've gone through all of this, what are some of the questions that are still on your mind about investing?
Yeah, what are the things that you're curious about? What are the features you want to explore in more detail as you take your next steps?
For more resources to support you on your journey, be sure to visit https://www.pnmoneymaking.com.
https://kk2020.store.
Thanks for listening to the Remedify Coaching Program.